fam? What is up, my Domaniacs? Today, we're going to be taking a very cool look at the MEZCO Godzilla vs. Hedorah set. This has been out for a while, I think I don't know, maybe a year or two by now, but I wanted to review this because I got this off Big Bad Toy Store, and I think I'm at a point in my life, I just have to admit it, I'm a Hedorah guy. I think Hedorah is one of my favorite kaiju, probably, just in any of her or his iterations. I'm a big fan of the movie. I think it's great. And I wanted this set because I've just been getting more into Gashapon and smaller scale figurines, and this seemed right up the alley of that. And I've also just wanted this for a long time because of all the stuff it comes with. I really like that MEZCO adds beams and replacement parts in with these figures, and that's why I think they're very cool. I still think they're kind of a little bit overpriced, but then again, they are Showa figures, and we know that Toho likes to milk anybody who wants the Showa licenses. So let's take a look at this packaging. I think this art is fantastic. Kind of strange that this is Heisei Godzilla. This looks like Heisei Godzilla to me. I don't really know why that's on this packaging. Hedorah's big eye with the head goes all the way down. Very cool. There's the bottom of the packaging. Here's the side of the packaging featuring Godzilla. The other side featuring Hedorah. And the back showcasing all the cool stuff that you're getting. Sorry about the glare. Got Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Hedorah, and her final form with 2 poison orbs, 1 beam effects, attaches to final form Hedorah's right eye, and eyelid attaches to final form Hedorah's left eye. I've got all these cool replica buildings, there's about 4 of them in there, and Hedorah flying form, which is very cool. Comes with a stand, which I was very excited about. That's kind of what convinced me to get this. I was like, alright, it comes with a stand, I'm getting that. That's so awesome. Flying form Hedorah is underrated in my opinion. I don't know. That might be crazy. A lot of people might be like, I don't know, Hedorah flying form is a very evenly rated kaiju, and then we've got this Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. Let's get this MEZCO toy pack open. Let's get it open. So taking a look at these first, we've got 2 sets of stands. We've got these different buildings. Very nice with the smokestacks coming out. We've got the stand for the flying form of Hedorah, and then Hedorah's eye beam. And then we've got Hedorah in her flying form, and Godzilla here. It's a lot of glare going on, so I'm just going to pull these guys right out. I'm just going to pull them right out. Alright, taking a look at Hedorah first. I think this is where the bulk of the budget for this specific figure came from, because, look at this thing. It's just awesome. It's got some nice paints, and the eyes look very nice. There's head articulation here, arm articulation. Got some, kind of dirty army green here underneath the arms, which is really cool. We got some red accents, some green accents throughout. These legs actually move just a tad bit, but that is pretty cool that they did that. Peg holes on the bottom, obviously. Some light green accents going on the bottom of the tail here, which you can move. Some reddish orangish accents right there on the back of the tail, and then we've got this big nasty back pouch with all these psychedelic colors on it. I think that looks really, really cool. I really like that. I think these divots on the eyes are kind of ugly, just the fact that they're so open or whatever, but it is what it is. I don't think it's ultimately going to bother me very much, so the dark wash on here is fantastic, too. I just want to mention. Godzilla here, very cool. I really like this face sculpt. I think it looks fantastic with the acid eye. That is really nice. And looking at these back dorsal fins, I like some good dorsal fins. I think these look pretty good. Maybe not super accurate to the film, but pretty nice. I really like this tail. I like that they kind of swoop the tail back a little bit. One thing with a lot of Godzilla figures for me is that there's so many that just go straight back, and that takes up a lot of room on the shelf. So when they're kind of bent like this, it really saves you some room and kind of gives some dynamism to the figure's appearance, which I really like that they did here. Feet look cool, legs look good. This leg is a little bit stiff for me, but that's not going to be for everyone, but that is something worth mentioning. Arms here articulated, neck articulated, legs articulated. The tail is not articulated. He's got these kind of open, half-closed claw hands, which I think are really cool. And there's a nice little black wash on him as well. This is definitely the coolest thing for me. Look at those eyes, man. Those are crazy. They're beautiful. Which is kind of crazy and weird to be saying about a giant alien sludge monster. But look at that. Just really, really nice paints on top. And then underneath, look at the sculpt. Sculpt is just so nice. Such a nice sculpt. And that comes with this little clear base, which is different from the black bases, which I think is really nice, and I appreciate that. And again, I also appreciate the pole, because at first, when I was looking at this thing on Big Bad Toy Store, I was like, man, does this thing not come with a pole? How are you supposed to make it fly? But it does come with a pole, which is very nice. It's going to look great in any Showa era collection, I think. And also, it doesn't have the divots on the eyes, so you kind of get the fullness of the eye sculpt here, which again, so nice, so cool. And that's not it. Along with those, we also get Hedorah's eyeballs, or whatever you want to call them. And then we've got Hedorah's eye patch from when Godzilla punched her right in the eye and basically created like a scar patch of tissue. Here it is right here. Looks pretty dope. Goes in there pretty seamlessly, I'd say. We get these base plates for Hedorah and Godzilla. Building with a smokestack. Building with a smokestack. Building without a smokestack. Building with a smokestack. And then we also have Hedorah's beam, I-beam, which I think is very cool that MEZCO does this. I think it's very cool. Looks really cool, honestly. I think that's awesome. Overall, not too many gripes about this set. I really honestly like these. They're a little bit bigger than I was imagining them to be in my mind's eye, which is always great. That's always awesome. Like, if you're like, oh man, I'm getting this figure. I'm not super pleased with the height, but it's, you know, it is what it is. And then you get it and it's kind of bigger. That's always cool. More presence. Yeah, I love the smokestacks that these come with. I love the flying pose Hedorah, along with Hedorah here, who has the replaceable eyelid, and then the beam attack as well is just so cool. My only real gripe with this figure is I feel like there's kind of some false advertising going on MEZCO's part, because they've shown that this Godzilla is able to hold the, you know, Hedorah eyeballs, but he's not. He can't hold them. Like, there's just no way you can make him hold these eyeballs. So that's kind of false advertising. I feel like if anything, they could have provided some replacement arms with sculpted eyeballs in them, you know what I mean? Or they could have also provided some extra arms to properly hold them separately. I mean, I feel like that's maybe more the idea I think people would enjoy, because you could actually then hold the eyeballs separately rather than have them sculpted in, because if you had extra arms with the eyeballs sculpted in to the hand placement and some separate Hedorah eyeballs, I feel like that's going to cost more. It's going to cost more probably in general if they added the extra arms, but still, probably the best way to go about it if they were going to do that. So some false advertisement there, and just kind of disappointing that he can't hold the eyeballs, like, period. And also, I just thought that they could have added an extra head with this Godzilla, a different expression without the damaged eye, because they did that with the Destroy All Monsters set. He had an extra head, and he came with a beam. I think it would have been cool also if we could have gotten an extra head with a beam, because he does use that in the fight against Hedorah, so I think that would have been suffice. I think it would have made sense. Or, again, just at least another head without the damaged eye, I think would have been cool. And, on top of that, I think one thing you could have done to make this a better Godzilla figure, ignoring all the other stuff I said, is I feel like, alright, we're going with this damaged look, right? Where is the skeleton hand? My man's doesn't even come with a skeleton hand, but he's got a permanently damaged eye. I just think that's kind of weird. I'm like, I think they could have provided at least like a replacement arm with a more skeletal hand. I think that would have been really cool. The most of the budget for this pack went to the Hedorah side of things, which I do appreciate because I am more of a Hedorah guy, but I am kind of like, man, I feel like it would have been great if they would have beefed up this Godzilla just a tad more and maybe not lied that he could hold something that's provided. But other than that, the paints are awesome, the sculpts are great, you know what you're getting into with the 5 points of articulation. These little doodads are very, very cool. I kind of hope that MEZCO continues doing more Showa packs. I don't think they're going to anymore. I was unsuccessful at getting that King Caesar Mechagodzilla Godzilla 3-pack. I'm still on a waiting list from MEZCO to get that, so hopefully I will be able to get that. Those Mechagodzilla beams are calling my name, bro. I always thought that they should have done a third Destroy All Monsters pack with, like, you know, Kumonga, Varan, Kamakuras. You know, I thought that would have been very cool. So yeah, I definitely think MEZCO has been able to shine a little bit with some of these 5 points of articulation scale Godzilla figures from the Showa era. Kind of wish they would keep doing it, honestly. Well, hope you enjoyed this review. Who's your favorite of these two? Do you like the movie? Do you think MEZCO should keep making these figures? Do you like this pack? Have you bought this pack? Love to hear from you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And Devonius,